Valve released Half-Life 2 Episode 1 on June 1st, 2006. This was actually their first experiment in an episodic release system where they'd be able to release sequels to the game without you having to wait 5 years between each game. Now, one thing they have added that's really nice are some HDR effects. So now, the lighting looks a lot more sort of subtle and intense in certain areas, and it just adds a lot to the atmosphere of the game. Similarly, they've added new facial animation features. This allows a lot of the characters to look a lot more realistic and expressive, although without crossing over Uncanny Valley into that territory of CG characters look a little too real, and therefore look way too real. Basically, all of the environments in Half-Life 2 Episode 1 are directly out of Half-Life 2, although, in a way, they're really useful storytelling mechanisms, because now that the Citadel has been overthrown, everything's falling apart. In the city, you see the rebels rising up again, so it kind of adds a nice little twist to the story that you can see reflected in the environments of the game. There's really one new enemy in Half-Life 2 Episode 1, and that's what Alex calls zombies. These are, as you might guess, Combine soldiers who've been turned into the zombies that you're kind of familiar with. And the only thing they add in terms of gameplay is the fact that they'll pull out grenades, and rather than throw them, they'll just run around lunging at you, and then eventually kind of kamikaze themselves and blow you up alongside them. Fortunately for us, real zombies are both slow and stupid, and luckily, I've yet to run into any grenade-wielding zombies. What's really nice about it is that in order to enhance some of the storytelling and exposition, you actually get to hang around Alex almost the entire game. You get to see a lot more of her emotional reactions to things. The fact that she's with you the whole time really breaks up the monotony, because you hear her say a few funny things, you see her react to stuff. It kind of makes things a little more interesting than just being around Freeman, who's completely mute. Episode 1, while being short, really packs a punch in the sense that they've done some pretty good stuff with pacing. There's enough boss battles, there's enough escalating action, and there's enough things sort of exploding in the background that you really have a sense of excitement the whole